Mountain News, first at 4, continues. The war in Ukraine is now entering its second month. Today, President Biden is in Poland visiting U.S. troops stationed there and learning more about the growing refugee crisis. CBS's Skylar Henry has the latest.
President Biden sat down with the president of Poland and humanitarian leaders to get a frontline update on the refugee crisis. The European Union says about 3.5 million people have fled Ukraine.
Part of my disappointment is that I can't see it firsthand like I have in other places. They will not let me, understandably, I guess it, cross the border and take a look at what's going on.
The president also shared a meal with U.S. troops stationed in Poland. They're in the country to protect the NATO member from any potential Russian attack. Inside Ukraine, Russia bombed a fuel depot near the capital, Kyiv. I want to kill Russian President Putin, this woman says. Our children are suffering for no reason. Ukrainian officials now say the bombing of a theater in Mariupol last week killed at least 300 people. The theater was being used as a shelter. The word children printed in Russian on the ground outside. The United Nations says there is evidence of mass graves in Mariupol, including one containing as many as 200 bodies. In the north, the city of Chernihiv is in ruins, and to the east, hundreds are still living in Kharkiv's underground train station. Early Friday morning, the president and the European Union announced a new joint task force designed to wean Europe off of Russian energy, which the president says is necessary to cripple Russia's military.
Putin has issued Russia's energy resources to coerce and manipulate its neighbors. He's used the profits to drive his war machine.
Now there's evidence the Kremlin's main political party has opened an office in Mariupol and is providing food, phone cards, and power strips to the Ukrainians still there. The food containers are marked with the letter Z, which is what Russia calls its invasion of Ukraine. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden will get to meet with refugees tomorrow and plans to give a speech.
It's been a chilly one out there today as we continue to watch overcast skies work through the mountains this afternoon. Looking outside right now, UVA-wise camera out into southwest Virginia. The overcast sticks with us. Low 40s outside right now, so it is a chilly afternoon. You'll definitely need the coat. Headed home from work this afternoon. Downtown Whitesburg, the overcast as well. And we're slightly milder in the mid-40s out into Letcher County. Temperatures remain in the middle and upper 40s in most spots, though a few lower 40s are trying to sneak in there. You see Wise sitting at 41. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Actually bringing us a little bit of a wind chill here as we are. Yeah, it is March the 25th, as a matter of fact. A few showers trying to work into portions of Estill, Powell, Menifee, and Rowan counties right now. But again, this isn't heavy rain by any means, and there are even some sprinkles on the map that are actually not showing up due to them kind of being kind of shallow in nature. But the overcast sticks with us through the nighttime hours, and we'll see more showers as we head later on into tonight and early into our Saturday. I'll break down all of those chances coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. With spring on the calendar, seeds are beginning to enter the ground for local farmers. In anticipation for the harvest, area farmers markets are trying to get the word out. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shows us a growing program in Prestonsburg.
One local partnership is all about Kentucky Proud, with a farmers market spring pop-up, bringing the market right here to the medical center. The Floyd County Farmers Market and other local markets have partnered with Appalachian Regional Healthcare to set up shop on the Highlands campus. And the season of shopping celebrated a preview event today with the Spring Bazaar, bringing vendors into the hospital's atrium where patients and visitors were able to pop in for a glimpse of what awaits this summer.
Right now we just have crafts. So we do have a few table onions out, and people are starting their gardens. So we're here promoting our farmers market.
Those involved say the partnership works both ways, giving the vendors better access to people and giving the people better access to locally made items and fresh fruits and vegetables. In Prestonsburg, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The out-of-season event is planting the seeds for the schedule to come. Hear more about the partnership and how it is helping the farmers and community coming up at 6. One Eastern Kentucky food pantry extended its resources to a local elementary school today to ensure its students do not go hungry this weekend. The Hazel Green Food Project partnered with CS&K Farms and the Kentucky Hunters for the Hungry to donate 150 pounds of ground beef to the students of Red River Valley Elementary School in Wolfe County to take home this weekend. Those with the school say this will benefit the students immensely, given that 85 to 90% of the students rely on the free or reduced lunch program.
I just can't stress enough how important it is, and I appreciate all the people that work with them to make sure that we get stuff to be able to give out. We couldn't do this without them. We couldn't do it without the donations. We couldn't do it without the Hazel Green Food Project.
Hazel Green Food Project President Nikki Stacy says she hopes to continue this partnership to help end hunger in Eastern Kentucky. As we told you a few minutes ago, President Biden continues his trip in Europe this week. We want to learn more about that right now with WYMT White House correspondent John Decker. He joins us now from Brussels, where the president was earlier in the week. And John, before leaving Brussels, President Biden announced a plan to wean Europe off Russian energy supplies. So what is the president's plan?
Yeah, this is really important considering that there are some European countries like Germany, like Hungary, that derive 40% of their energy needs from Russia. And the concern is that Russia could use that as leverage against those countries. So the president announcing today with the president of the European Commission a plan in which the U.S. would greatly increase the amount of LNG, liquefied natural gas, that is exported to Europe, not only this year, but in the years ahead, so that at the end of 10 years, countries like Germany and Hungary no longer have to depend on Russia for their energy.
So the president arrived in Poland earlier today. What's on his agenda there?
Yeah, when the president arrived in Poland, one of the things that he did was to meet with U.S. troops from the 82nd Airborne who are based there now. They were transferred to Poland a little over a month ago from Germany, and they are essentially protecting a very important NATO country. Tomorrow, the president will meet once again with the president of Poland, President Duda, and the conversation there concerns the humanitarian crisis that exists right now in Eastern Europe because of all of the Ukrainians fleeing their country. 4 million have already left their country. 2 million of those Ukrainians are now residing in Poland, and Poland obviously can't handle them all. So that's a big part of the conversation that President Biden will have with President Duda tomorrow.
The White House today clarified a comment the president made during Thursday's news conference when he said he would respond in kind if Russia used chemical weapons in Ukraine. What was that clarification?
Well, when I heard the president say that, my interpretation of what he meant was the interpretation of many others, and that was that the U.S. would perhaps resort to using chemical weapons of our own against Russia if Russia used chemical weapons. A clarification coming today from the National Security Advisor to the president, his name is Jake Sullivan, saying under no circumstances would the U.S. ever use chemical or biological weapons, and whatever response the U.S. has would be done in consultation with our European allies. So that was a cleanup, if you will, of what the president said yesterday in his answer to that first question at that press conference yesterday.
All right, John Decker live in Brussels. We appreciate it. Thank you. There will be more about the president's trip tonight at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News. Back here in the U.S., many may have a harder time managing their finances as prices continue to climb. A report from Realtor.com shows the national median rent was almost $1,800 last month. That's a 17% jump from 1 year ago, marking double-digit increases for studio apartments, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms. February's new high put the typical apartment at $283 more expensive each month than it was in 2020 before the pandemic. That marks a nearly 20% increase during the past 2 years. Coming up on First at 4, it's becoming more important than ever to have strong passwords to protect your information.
And as we head through the remainder of the work week and into the weekend, some more showers will be possible. I'll have the very latest on the White House.
The WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they happen, customized